I don't get Marner. Marner's been so good for me all year. He makes so many great plays. He turns the puck over, and not another player in sight to help him out. Like, where were the other guys? Up? Were they on the forecheck, or where were they? Were they going for the bomb or what? How the hell is he the only guy left in the neutral zone?
It just seems like Florida's a team that from one end to the other just have so many different ways that they can beat you or get through you.
I mean, 17 different guys have scored for them. What's that tell you? That tells you they're a team, not a group. They're a team. 17 guys score for them. And how many hits has Tanev taken? 75 hits?
More.
What's that tell you?
Yeah, he's getting absolutely pounded.
He's getting pounded. He's getting, and do you not think that's part of the game plan? To pound the living snot out of him? I mean, the guy must be so beat up, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and they also target the Nylanders and Marners and the Matthews. They target them.
It's Nick, it's the playoffs. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to. I remember having a team meeting before we played the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I've told you this, guys. When I said in the team meeting, guys, night before the game one, I want Mario and Yager and all these superstars to hate hockey when this series is over. And guess what? They hated hockey when that series was over. It was ugly and vicious. And, Mario, I mean, he was exhausted. Him and Yager were exhausted at the end of that. And Zubov and all these superstars. It was unbelievable how we punished them. It really was. I don't know. But the Leafs can't seem to get to that level. And that, I don't understand it because they're a talented group.
It's so funny, too.
I don't get it.
We spend so much time talking about the Leafs, and they have all this high-end talent. And then you watch the other Eastern Conference team, Carolina, who doesn't have a top 5 guy, top 10 guy, whatever. They just go to conference finals. That's all they do. No big deal.
And do you see how their puck pursuit?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how hard these guys pursue the puck?
Martin,
and how hard
those guys get after it.
And how they forecheck and how focused they are at faceoffs and how they're jumping off faceoffs. Even when they lose the draw, they're giving it that extra push to win the battle, to get control of the puck. And they're well coached, extremely well coached, in my opinion. And they never win it because their goalie always lets them down before the end of it. Right. So let's see if that happens. But I watched Vegas the other day. And I'll tell you what, somebody said to me, what happens when you lose your generator? And I said, well, your lights go out. And they said, that's exactly what happened in Vegas. The lights went out. You know why? They lost their generator. You know who their generator was? Who their Conn Smythe winner was? When they won a cup? Yeah, and he's in Nashville. And they lost their generator. They lost the guy that was the juice. And they lost him. And all of a sudden, these other stars they never got a sniff. Do you see how many guys didn't score for Vegas? That's what's going on with the Leafs. They need a generator because they don't have one right now that I see. They don't even have one to lose because nobody's generating.
A pretty good one in Alberta that many people didn't see is doing a lot of generating in Evander Kane.
Yeah, it's almost like Corey Perry, isn't it? Every playoff we hear about Evander Kane. Remember when he was in San Jose playing Vegas? We heard about him every game. Whether he was gambling or whatever he was doing, we heard about him every game. So, I mean, they live for playoff hockey. I mean, look at Skinner. Like, bounces back with 2 shutouts after being ridiculed by everybody in the hockey world. And the guy comes back. And you know what? I got to tell you, I look at the group, and you mentioned Kane. I mean, Brown, Arvidsson. I mean, these guys are Kapanen gets an overtime winner. I'm thinking, what are they doing with Kapanen on their team, for God's sake? And he gets the winner. And I mean, and it comes back to McDavid and Draisaitl. They're the engines, they're the guys. So I like it. I mean, I got to give them full credit.
So
But
the other
the
team,
Leafs,
yeah,
the Leafs can't lose, boys. They can't lose tonight. If they lose tonight, this is gonna be ugly.
what's going to happen?
Okay, no,
I
okay,
don't.
all right,
It's
no,
gonna
no.
be. I don't know.
Before
what's
you
gonna happen.
answer
It's gonna
that,
be really ugly.
I got a question for you around that. Okay, you've been a president in the National Hockey League. Brendan Shanahan's the president.
Now I'm a golfer.
Now you're a golfer. But what kind of night would it feel like for Brendan Shanahan tonight, going into a very critical game?
It would remind me when you run into a bear in the woods and what happens to your pants. They become full of something. He'd be on the verge of seeing a bear and trying to run away, but he couldn't run away fast enough because his pants were full of something.
Oh, boy.
So look, it would be tense. It would be nerve-wracking. And, Brendan believes in this team. He's believed in this group. He believes in this team, and he will be bitterly disappointed, as will Leaf Nation. That's why, I'm going to say this: it wouldn't surprise me if they win tonight. It wouldn't surprise me, and it wouldn't surprise me if they lose Game 7. I don't know.
That's like all borderline consensus at this point about what's going to happen. Just to make sure we touch on them while we have you, the Winnipeg Jets with a monster win last night, 4-0. Jamie Benn punched Scheifele in the face and got fined for it. But otherwise, they got a shutout from Hellebuck. Top guys played well. Can the Jets work their way back here?
If a franchise needs another round, it's the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
Look, they're a franchise that's, small building, tough market. And a great regular season. They really need it. I don't see them beating. I don't see them beating Dallas. I just don't.
So
I think Dallas is too good, and they dominated the game.
Well, is it based? You feeling this way? Is it just simply based on like they've lost any confidence on the road, and Connor Hellebuck cannot win on the road? Is that it? Because they're like the Leafs. You still got an opportunity. You got one opportunity. You win. Yeah. You win the road game, and you should win it back home in Game 7. The way I see it,
good enough. Hellebuck's good enough to win them a game. He's good. Hellebuck, based on what we've seen, his body of work, excluding the playoffs, he's good enough to win them the game. He did it all season.
But can he do it on a road
game?
game?
I don't see them winning, but he's the